see that little finger there? It's only just under the £half, so I'm not overcharging you, am I?
Now, come now, Emma. I only said it looked a tiny piece.
I can always sell you some more.
No, it's quite adequate, thank you. Oh, and I'd like a tin of pitted cherries. Without stones.
I always thought they called them pips myself.
No, I think the pits refers to the holes caused by the removal of the, pips.
Miss Nugent, I have a confession to make. I'm afraid I have to withdraw from your crusade. Now, I know you have another meeting planned, dear, but my conscience will not allow me to attend.
It won't.
No, you see, it's that fellow who sold her in the warehouse.
I've just been discussing it with Irma, dear. I found him so full of confidence and zeal and charm.
Blandishments.
Right, Mrs. Walker, altogether that's 47 new pence you owe me. You know, I agree, Miss Nugent, there's no use sticking your head in the sand. I mean, it's progress, isn't it?
Profit is the word you mean.
Yes, well, I suppose there'll be an ear for the balm cakes. Oops, hang on, I'm diddling myself. I forgot to carry the one, look. It's 57.
You sure?
Honestly, yes.
Strange bedfellows, I would think.
I beg your pardon, Miss Nugent.
You and Mrs. Barlow.
Oh, we've a very lot in common, me and Mrs. Walker, haven't we?
Oh, come now. Surely you're not entirely dependent on us.
Oh, no, Mrs. Walker. I do have other supporters, notably Kenneth. Mrs. Sharples arrives home today.
And she's the big gun, is she?
Well, I happen to think so in figurative terms.
Ah, which way will she be firing, though?
Well, knowing Mrs. Sharples, I don't think there'll be any doubt.
Really? How obstinate can you get? If there's one thing I cannot stand, it's a stubborn woman.
I say, Maggie, Miss Nugent's just been calling us.
Oh.
Something wrong, Mrs. Clegg?
No, should there be?
You forgot to stick your smile on.
And it shows. Take your sister, for instance. She has been radiant this last few days.
It wouldn't go far, you know. I mean, just out for the afternoon and then straight back to our house for a nice cup of tea. Oh, my Cyril loves planning these trips, you know. We thought about Bellevue.
No. Don't get me wrong, it's just that Bellevue proved a bit tricky.
Yes, they went and lost themselves there. Mind you, they're a lot more disciplined now.
Oh, I remember. It was you that took them there, wasn't it?
Yes. What's the news from Glasgow then?
It's very good. Arthur's had an offer for the house. He's very optimistic. We thought we'd have endless trouble.
Oh, I didn't realise you're contemplating selling them.
Well, if we're going to come and live down here, we'll have to, won't we?
Don't you have a shop?
Yes, but the buyer's made an offer for that as well. It couldn't be more hopeful.
Yes, but it's a pretty big upheaval, isn't it? I mean, what with Mr. Tatlock's health and things.
Well, he's much, much better. And retirement's hardly likely to do him any
Yes, but
harm,
it's still a
is
very
it?
big step. I mean, it's not something you want to rush into.
Well, the way I see it, came with very little choice. Those children need the granny.
Well, they need someone, I agree.
They need someone they know.
There are others.
Yeah, just my point, exactly. I mean, my prime concern is for the children.
And mine isn't. Look, Ken, I'm not planning this move for the sake of my health.
No, I don't question your motives. It's just that, well, I'm trying to think of it in practical terms.
Yes, well, if
that's
you'll
all.
allow me to be practical, you're going to be late for school. You haven't got time to stand around chatting, and leave those things, love. I'll see to them when I come back.
Bit of a tartar, isn't she?
She has her moments.
Ken, might I say what it's meant to me, you know, Susan and Peter, having them with me like this. I mean, it's not just me, you know, it's Cyril as well. He's growing ever so fond of them. Oh, they're a treasure and a pleasure.
You wouldn't say that if you knew them better.
It's all in here, the full amount.
Oh, come on, love, you can pay for that in instalments. That's a big lump for little you.
What do you mean by little me?
Oh, well, you know.
I want you to have it.
All right.
You put the grate in, and so now you must have the money.
Have you tried it out yet?
No, not yet.
Well, you should have done, you know, love. You might have had some complaints. Hello, Albert. You're looking more like a pixie every day.
Hey, now, you watch it.
I'd like you to count it, please.
Back at the yard, love, in the office. Now, I'll give you a receipt, all right?
How you going?
I love you, too.
Sit down, Albert.
Right, thank you.
Your nose is looking red.
Ah, wait, it's cold outside. It's very cold, so you better get yourself properly wrapped up.
Oh, am I going somewhere?
Yeah, you're going with me to have your dinner, aren't you? I found this pensioners' club on Jubilee Terrace.
Oh, I used to live on Jubilee Terrace. The houses are all empty now. They're damp and falling down.
Ah, well, I'm not interested in state of property. All I'm interested in is my dinner. 3 courses for 17 new pence.
Are you treating me, Albert?
I'm walking you there, aren't I? What more do you want?
Oh.
And you needn't begrudge the money, you know, because it's worth it for what you get.
I see.
So, come on now, get a move on, or soup will be gone.
Well, no, I don't think I will. You see, I've got this bit of a cold, and I don't think I could manage 3 old courses. Not today.
Well, you can give me one.
No, I think I ought to stop in. I've got this cold.
I see. You don't want me company, that's what it is.
Oh, no.
And look, if you're so poorly, why ain't file it?
Well, that's none of your business.
You go and make all this palaver about a great, then you don't even like the blooming fire.
Will you just get out? You're a nasty, selfish busybody.
You what?
You don't feel a bit sorry for me. Oh, no. All you do is stand here and use bad language.
Blooming hell.
And shut the door.
Well, there's no warmth in here, like a blooming barn. And I'll tell you something. Your nose is red and all.
Thank you, love.
Thanks, Brett.
Yeah, well, my stand says we're back in Britain by encouraging trade and that.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Ogden, but I fail to see the connection.
Well, they want jobs at the warehouse, don't you, love?
I just want to help put Britain on its feet again, that's all. By
Thank you,
encouraging...
Mrs. Ogden. I've heard quite enough. The spirit of community is dead.
Oh, no. No, we'll go to the community centre, see what they've got to offer, like.
Excuse
How
me,
very
ladies.
selfish of you.
Yeah, well, people are, aren't they? We was born with original sin.
I do.
Well,
Annie Rod, I don't know why you're banking on Ena Sharples.
She has integrity, a set of values and moral fibre. Need I go on?
Well, you've left out Wheeler Dealer, which she is, and hard as flipping nails, which she is, and not stupid.
Which I am, I suppose.
Well, I'd say you erred on the simple side, in my opinion.
Oh, are you a friend of hers?
I knew her very slightly. I don't think she'll remember me. I'm a member of the bowling club.
Oh, you knew Mr. Walker then?
Yes, I had that honour.
Well, I'm sorry she's not. She's gone to town, but she'll be back later.
I suppose she's got over the worst of it now.
Well, you know, she's up and down a bit.
Yeah, she's got herself organised here, all right. You fancy her hand at making sausage?
You what?
I'm a butcher. Got 2 fine lads in my shop. Both of them better looking than their dad.
Well, I'll be safer off here then, won't I?
No offence intended. Well, I'll call back later on the off chance she's in.
Well, evening's better.
So be it. Goodbye to you, miss. I do.
Do I know you?
No, but you do now. The day hasn't been wasted, has it?
If people act out of pure self-interest, the hive will cease to function, as it were.
Well, talking of hives, a certain party's just walked in. Queen Bee herself.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought you'd be interested. I'm just the drudge around here.
Drone.
Fairclough hasn't been in then.
Not yet, Mrs. Sharple.
Lily Caldwell?
I haven't seen her all day.
Oh, well, there's a milk stout in the snug.
I'll pay for it, Bet.
What's this?
I'm welcoming you home.
You're taking a lot on yourself, aren't you? Still, the one that should be doing it isn't here.
I think you've got permission to enter.
Yes, well, here goes.
This chair feels different.
Well, I think you'll find it's the same. More than can be said of other matters.
Oh?
Mrs. Sharples, in your absence, a plan was mooted to erect a warehouse in this street. Now, I've led a battle against this plan, a futile battle to date. I would like you to take arms with me.
A warehouse?
Yes, a sort of mail order place.
Nothing else?
Oh, community centre adjacent.
You mean in addition?
Yes.
Thank goodness for that. You're going to think they'd changed their minds. I'm sorry, Emily Nugent, but the answer's no.
Oh, Mrs. Sharples, I was counting on you to help rally support, a sort of Horatius at the bridge.
Ah, yes, well, he was a fellow. Besides, I've too much at stake.
Oh, what may I ask?
My welfare, I'm looking to that for once.
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
No? Well, you don't have to, do you? There's a milk stout up there wants paying for.
I've just been on the phone. If we don't get a better offer in the next 48 hours, I've told him to accept the one we've got. He can be very hesitant at times, can Dad?
You don't want to rush it, you know. You might end up just like me, selling the place, then having to pay through the eyes and nose to buy your way back in again.
You did very well. That's what Ken says, don't rush. But I say, well, what's the point? It's not as though we've got to buy another house, is it?
You'd live with Kenneth, you mean?
Oh, yes.
And where will the twins go, in the backyard?
Well, they need a family unit. Close-knit family life.
And who are you to say?
Val's mother.
Well, I'm Ken's sister-in-law.
Yes, well, I think that's very childish. Thank you, Mrs. Clegg.
Thanks. It's no use, Emma. She's not one to reason with.
The taters are still a little bit on the hard side. Give 'em 10 minutes. Hey, I like playing truant. Wonder how Bet Lynch is getting on.
I say,
What?
you've just missed Mrs. Tatlock.
Oh, good.
You'll have to tell her, you know. The longer it goes on.
Yes, yes, all right.
Well, you are a sister.
Hardly accuse her of deserting, seeing she never joined.
Well, there was a reason, you know.
I don't, Mr. Fairclough.
She had a vested interest. She wants a job.
Mrs. Sharple?
At a Gassy community centre, correct?
That's what she's after, yeah. Caretaker's job. You fighting a losing battle, love?
Am I, Kenneth?
Well, I'm afraid I'm backing out, Miss Newton. At least in the meeting this afternoon, I've got some business in town.
Of great importance, I presume.
Well, yes, it is in a way. I'm afraid I'm in rather deep water domestically.
Yes, I'm sorry. I know you must have a lot to do.
Well, I needn't, Miss Newton. That's just the point. There should be a way of sorting all this out without all these storm and strife.
You're referring to the children. I almost thought of offering myself. One needs something to throw oneself into.
That is the wrong approach.
People need to, Kenneth. I know I do.
Hence the warehouse.
That's not the first cynical voice I've heard today.
All right, all right.
You and Alf Roberts between you promised me that job.
I told you, love, it's in the melting pot.
Well, am I up for it or aren't
Well,
I?
of course you are. Amongst others.
Well, I know that.
Well, that's all right, then.
Well, I hope it is.
You know, I thought you'd have mellowed in St. Anne's.
It's all sea out there, Len Fairclough. Very salty.
Oh, it's no good. I'll never get warm down here. Besides, there's nothing to stop up for.
Hey, Maggie, what's all this? Irma said you wanted to see me.
Yes.
Well, come on. I mean, you've had all lunchtime. Where's a fine old time to choose, unless, of course, it's private?
Yes, a bit.
Hey, Maggie, you don't change, do you? You've not exactly got a flow of words.
No, it's more I weigh 'em, Betty.
Yeah, that's me, isn't it? Sparting off with a load of nonsense.
Well, you are at the moment.
About what?
Assuming Kennard let you mind the twins. Jumping to conclusions that are false.
False?
You'd
Why?
smother 'em, Betty. Of course Ken shies away from it.
Smother?
Oh, no, maybe that's the wrong word. You'd give the job, and that's what it is. More than Kenneth wants. Oh, it's understandable, Betty, because you've had no children of your own.
No, I've never been that fortunate.
Oh, Betty, I knew you'd be hurt.
Hurt? You can't be hurt by rubbish, and that's what you're talking, a load of rot. It's Mrs. Tatlock that Ken's against.
Yes, that may be so, but that doesn't mean you can fill the gap. Oh, Betty, I think I'm only being cruel to be kind. It's wrong for you and Cyril to go on making plans.
Me and Cyril? What do you know what we want? I mean, what do you know what any man and his wife wants? They plan things, and when they
More
get...
than you think, Betty. Wasn't always bad with me and Les. We plan things. It's just they didn't work out.
Well, we plan them and they go right.
Ken won't let them go.
I never asked him to!
One day you will. It's there now at the back of your mind.
What?
Adoption.
Oh, it never is.
Is Irma about? Only I promised to take her out tonight, and I've got this job that's just cropped up.
She's in the back.
A call back later, Billy, will you? There's a good lad.
All right. I'll leave you to it then.
Fine thing. Two sisters going on at one another.
It's no use, Maggie. You just can't take those things back.
I don't want to. Everything I've said was in good faith.
Oh, and I suppose you think you're qualified.
Oh, don't be silly.
Well, you were Valerie's friend.
Yes. Yes, I was. And it seems to me when somebody dies, or even goes out of your life, You want to make up to him somehow for what you didn't do when... Well, if you mean do I feel strongly about those children, yes, I do.
I see. It's not that Ken that thinks that it won't be any good, it's you.
Betty, I didn't say no
No,
good.
but that's what you're on about, isn't it? Well, thank you, Maggie. Thank you very, very much for telling me.
Well, you were wrong, Irma. I'm the one person who... Oh, never mind.
Well, I wouldn't have been no good, Maggie. Oh, I wish I could do something to help.
With the twins?
Yeah, I've thought about them and all. And I keep thinking about my little boy.
Irma, all they want is their mother.
No, truly. I cannot recall any butchers.
Well, I think he was a friend of Mr. Walker's.
Yes, maybe.
Well, you don't hold it against him because he was very presentable, Mrs. Walker.
By that she means he had a bowler hat.
No, I didn't. I meant he was very presentable. For his age.
And what's that supposed to mean?
And he had a twinkle in his eye.
Too familiar by half.
Mrs. Sharples, if I'm to meet the gentleman concerned, as I'm led to believe I shall form my own opinions. Now, the greatest respect for your opinions, but I don't necessarily share them, as well you know.
Yes, on principle.
Stop stirring it, Mrs. Sharples.
Look, I'm not bothered with her. Where's Minnie Caldwell?
Isn't she at home?
I haven't the foggiest. I haven't absolutely got the foggiest. As far as I'm concerned, she's just not appeared. She knew I was coming. She's known for weeks.
Well, she didn't mention it.
Oh, you've seen her then?
Well, only this morning when we had a row.
I see. That Garside fella isn't hunting around by any chance, is he?
Not unless she's got him hidden away somewhere.
Well, I wouldn't put that past her. That's what she did the last time I come home.
Of course, it could be that she didn't want to see you. I mean, we don't all want to see you.
Thank you very much.
No, I only suggested it.
Oh, well, it did cross my mind. Sulking, I shouldn't wonder, because the postal strike finished last week and I didn't write.
Well, it's childish if you ask me.
Oh, she's got her rights.
Well, are you going to call round here?
Look, it's me that's come back, Albert Tatlock. It's not my place to go looking for her.
Oh, well, then all you can do is stop here and talk to me, eh?
What, after what you said just now?
Hmm.
I don't stop where I'm not wanted. I'm not going where I'm not wanted either. And at that rate, there's only one thing left for me to do, and that's go home.
Medium sherry, Miss Nugent.
I think that's right.
Okay.
That's the way things are, you know. I mean, things just fizzle out.
Says the councillor, grinning from ear to ear.
I didn't enjoy, you know. I mean, if you feel badly about it, how do you think I feel?
Divided loyalties, Mr. Fairclough?
Well, of course. I mean, I live round here, don't I? I mean, amongst other things, I'm just a simple fella. I want to be loved.
Get away. You stood standing there in your natty blazer shouting the odds. You enjoyed every minute of it.
Power does corrupt.
No, not corrupt. No, it's nice. It boosts the old ego, doesn't it? Well, am I right?
You must answer, Mr. Fairclough. You are rather in the dock.
I'm always in the flaming dock in this job.
All right, resign and give it up.
I don't want to.
Why not?
Well, because I like it.
Yeah, I see. Gotcha.
No, but look, mate, I mean, you got your garage. You get a kick out of balance sheets. I don't. And now, Langton, now, he does. I don't. So I must have something else. It's a question of horizons.
A rather unfortunate phrase, considering the view the street will have.
Well, there you are, love. You've lost. Forget it.
I have no choice.
It's forgotten.
What is?
Dunno, I can't remember. We've just forgotten it.
Oh, well, that's a coincidence as soon as I show my face.
Yeah, I know. It's looking at you, love. It drives everything right out of my mind.
Hey, are you going to sit there and let him insult me?
Is this the face that launched 1,000 ships?
Oh, Miss Nugent.
I can't see why you're appealing to me.
Well, 'cause we're women, we have to stick together. Like in Women's Lib.
Oh, really? When you're burning your bra then?
Don't be filthy. And you needn't laugh.
No,
It's
no
always the
discussion.
same with you.
Oh, just a passing contretemps, my cleaning woman.
Harold Dewhurst.
And Walker.
I know. I knew your husband, Mrs. Walker.
So I understand.
I knew him well enough to regret his passing and want to pay my respects.
I'm sure he talked about you.
Did he?
Oh, I'm sure he did.
You could always tell Jack Walker on the green.
Jack and his bowls. He was good at it, wasn't he?
Like a knife's edge, that crease of his.
I can imagine. I'm not acquainted with all the technical terms, some of them, but not all.
Yeah, we got our wires mixed. His flannels. Sharp, beautiful. When I took the liberty of mentioning it, he said that was you, the queen behind the throne.
Poor Jack. He did need encouraging in that respect, and it's something that rather matters to me.
It shows. I always noticed it, being a bit deprived myself. A widower with sons and only sons. I was all baggy round the knees.
Oh, come.
It's true. I look like a pantomime horse.
Funny, you know, to think of Jack. He loved his bowls. I wish now that I'd gone oftener to see him play. Might have put him off.
I haven't upset you, have I, bringing it up?
Oh, no, no. I'm glad you thought so highly of him.
Oh, very much. Good. Well, in that case, I'll have a pint of mild.
I'm sorry. Bet!
Can't you draw it yourself?
Of course.
I'd rather you did. It's like my boys. I still can't trust him with the cleaver.
Must be fascinating, your profession.
I'll tell you about it sometime. Sometime when you've got more time to spare.
I'm afraid I have very little.
You sure you can't tell me what you want?
No, I want to see Ken, love. I don't mind waiting.
No idea how long he'll be.
Did he not say?
I didn't ask. That's one thing I'm very determined about. Ken's got his own life to lead.
You mean you won't interfere?
No, I won't. It's only a wife can do that. That's one thing he hasn't got, poor lad.
But you tried to be a mother to the twins.
Well, of course I do. I admit that.
You know, when Ken asked you down here, I was under the impression that it wasn't for good, that it was just to sort of tide him over.
Oh, well, that was the idea. With things working out so well. Mind you, there are small difficulties. There are bound to be. But I like Ken. Always got on well together. He can be very distant sometimes. It's hard to know what he's really thinking.
Ah, you don't. And if I'm honest with myself, neither do I. I mean, that's why I want to have a talk to him to get all this lot sorted out.
It is.
Oh, no, it's not. I mean, you're that keen not to interfere. I mean, you've never had it out with him. You seem to be frightened to death of a little bit of plain speaking. I'm not. I want to find out where you really stand.
Don't you mean where you stand? Hello, Ken.
What's this then, a reception committee? I'm sorry, Mother, it took a little longer than I thought.
Ken, before you sit down to your tea, love, there's just one little thing that's been fretting me. When Mrs. Tatlock goes back to Glasgow in due course, is there any chance of me taking over, you know, caring for the babies?
Mrs. Turpin seems to think I'll be going home, Ken. I mean, where she gets that idea from...
I'm sorry, but the answer's no. And what you do from now on, Mother, well, that's up to you.
From now on?
Yes, you see, as from tomorrow, the children will be in adequate care. In adequate and professional care, that is.
You're never sending them away.
No, I've hired a Mrs. Lacey, a sort of housekeeper come children's nurse, and as I say, she starts tomorrow. I think that... well, we'll see. I'm sorry, but there it is.